This is Seasons of Discontent with your hosts Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.
Welcome to Seasons of Discontent, Season 11, Episode 26, brought to you by Rick Snyder's Washington. And I'm Rick Snyder.
And I'm Matt.
And we're back discussing all things Washington sports and life as part of the mighty Rick Snyder empire. Right away, we always do this on Thursday. Pick the game. Philadelphia's -3. I'm going Philly 41, Washington 37. I think it's going to be a wild night.
I'm going to be a little bit more rational. 31-17 Philadelphia.
All right. And I'll take over 46.5, obviously. But, I just figured they're
31-17, 48. Yeah, I'll take that over too.
I'll do it. All right. So that's the crazy pick. Does Washington manage to survive to beat the Eagles? Now, I always say that it's a weird series. Could see this. And the weird sidebar to this game will be they might be meeting again in the first round of the playoffs. And I kind of wondered, do you hold anything back for fear of that? But then again, what are you holding back after 17 games? Everybody's seen your whole resume.
Yeah, and Washington has to have a win now mentality, because yes, they still have games against Dallas and they have a game against Atlanta after this. But your magic number needs to be 11. So you got to go you got to win 2 of the remaining 3 games. So, I don't think you can hold anything back. Rick, I don't think they have the people that are healthy enough to hold anything back. What are you going to do? You're going to hold back Zach Ertz? Well, yeah, guess what? He's got a concussion.
Yeah, I mean, they could. There's the scenarios run a lot of ways. But one of them is if you beat Atlanta, but then you're still going to need a little help with Seattle and the Rams. They could tie and somehow get ahead of you. It's one of them mind-numbing things. Beating Atlanta is the key game of the 3, really.
Yeah.
Of everything. You'd like to beat Philly, but you still can't catch them in the NFC East. So that gets you a nice win, but it won't get you to the NFC East crown.
Yeah, and you kind of want LA, you want the Rams to win the division because you have the tiebreaker over the Cardinals with the head-to-head. It's pretty amazing that you're 9-5 and you're in the last wild card position. Like, it's kind of reminiscent of when the Redskins went to the playoffs at 7-9.
Yeah, I agree. It's weird. So the first game they played, really, the score looked kind of close, but to me, Philly won that game easily.
Oh yeah.
Partly because that was the Thursday nighter they played. They were caught off of the Pittsburgh game. It was just a bad timing situation.
Well, and unfortunately, you want to talk about Pittsburgh, the Eagles played Pittsburgh over the weekend, and of course, I don't know why, but reporters had to get Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown all stirred up, so they went out there and played lights out. So that's all they needed was a little fire. Why are you going to fire those 2 guys up? I don't know why, but thanks.
Yeah. One of the things that came out, too, is John Allen may actually return. I mean, technically, Austin Eckler might return, too, from these things. They're not on season-ending IRs. I don't really think that they've missed John Allen nearly as much as they expect. I figured
obviously, we haven't seen what we kind of expected from Johnny Newton. I know he's still coming off of the injury and everything like that. He's got to get back in a game. He's got to get a full game, got to get back up to his full game speed and conditioning. But we did see a little shine from Deron Payne against the Saints. I know he had, a sack and a half. I mean, Mathis, when he's played, has filled in pretty well. You've got a pretty good player in Dante Fowler coming off the edge. I mean, Dorrance Armstrong has played well. We haven't seen Cleveland Farrell in a while, but he was playing okay when he was in there. I don't think they've really missed Jonathan Allen. And Rick, I would kind of forecast to say that John Allen is not going to be on this team next year. You
have currently 12. Well, it might be 13 now. I guess with Crowder back, 13 players on the active roster who precede this regime, and I figure, maybe half of them would be gone next year too. And I would expect Allen to be traded. for it. Yeah, ironically, he wanted to stick around for a good team, and here it is.
Yeah.
Didn't get to it.
Yeah, I could see them getting rid of John Allen. I think the key focus um for next season, you've got a couple guys that are going to be up after 1 year that have come in here and they've earned contracts, like a Jeremy Chin, like a Bobby Wagner. I know, with Wagner, it's a little bit more than just football. I know he wants to finish his degree that he's got going on at Howard University, which is right up the road. But also, we talked about it a little bit on the last show. He'll be tying London Fletcher if he gets 100 tackles next season. What better, cooler way to do it than wearing the same jersey as, well, technically the same jersey that London Fletcher wore. Plus, him and Fletch have become good friends, with Fletch obviously being on the play-by-play. So that'd be kind of cool. I think that's a little bit more of an incentive for Wagner to stay. Plus, I know he likes Dan Quinn, and he's really the captain of this defense. But those are guys that you really need to focus on, those two guys bringing back. But yeah, I could definitely see John Allen traded, like we talked about. St. Juice is gone. There's going to be another big roster turnover next year. It ain't going to be 60% like it was this year, but it's going to be pretty big.
And this week also, RFK bill is coming down to the stretch in the U.S. Senate. The Senate has until the 20th to add anything they're going to do, and then they go on recess. And when they come back first of the year, it's a new Senate. They get sworn in earlier than the president. So you got to do it now or you start over again. The bill has been, what we hear, negotiated to be part of this big omnibus continuing resolution thing. You're basically riding on the money. They got to pass a bill about money. So they throw in 10,000 riders, if anybody. And I supposedly there's a lot of negotiations about it. Maryland's really playing hardball. They want jets or something, in case the Russians invade us, we need a little hardware. But that's going on. Then they said, well, we want assurances that the FedEx field site will be developed somehow. That was actually negotiated when they got the land 30 years ago. That's not new. But, this new governor, it amazes me that the senators are bowing to the governor. And I'm like, why? Senators don't need governors. Governors need senators.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't think anything happens until Friday. Watch, you'll come on the air Thursday and it'll be done. But everything in the Senate goes to the very end. And it's not even about them. They're part of the other things being knuckle dragged through there. But it would give DC the right to hold on to property for all these, all of our lifetimes. And then you still got problems in DC to get this passed. I mean, City Council's got some hard nose against the stadium I know of. They have several that are sitting on their hands right now. They probably will bribe, money will flow and people will somehow vote yes.
Look, we talked about it before. Roger Goodell and and Josh Harris and some pretty powerful people showed up on Capitol Hill. But no, so from what I've heard, and obviously you're the reporter here, I'm just going off of what I heard on Channel 4. Obviously there was the Maryland came back with like, hey, well, we'll accept this, but you got to give us like $2 billion worth of F-16 fighter jets or something stupid like that. And DC was like, no, we're not doing that. So from what I heard is DC is going to, I think it's like $200 million they're willing to give the state of Maryland to help rebuild Key Bridge. I think it goes directly to like a Key Bridge fund.
Yeah.
So, because obviously somebody hands you a check for $200 million, you might get a crazy idea or two up your butt and it won't go there. But yeah, I did hear that.
Key Bridge is a $2 billion project, of which the ship that hit it knocked it down. They gave up $200 million. I'm like, no, you give up $2 billion. You knocked it down. You fix it. Why am I, the taxpayer, got to fix this?
Well, look, right at the tippy top, there'll be like a 5-foot section, and we'll put a plaque that says courtesy of the District of Columbia. But anyway, so yeah, they're supposed to give like $200 million towards Key Bridge. And then that also, I believe the Commanders have come out and said that they will put money into knocking down and revitalizing where Northwest Field is now. Obviously, like you talked about, part of the deal back in the day with Jack Kent Cooke in the state of Maryland was it's in Palmer Park. Palmer Park is not exactly the nicest area in the world. Let's pump some money into this thing. Let's get it nice. Jack I don't even think Jack did. I think Dan ended up having to pay for it, was the Sport and Learning Complex, which is next door. They never really touched the neighborhoods around, whether it's the stuff off of Central Avenue or the stuff off of Landover Road. So they need to revitalize that area. I have a feeling they kind of want to do like a Bowie Town Center type thing over there. Sorry if I'm going too local. I know our UK guys, you probably have to get on Google Maps to figure out what we're talking about. But that's what I've been hearing, and you know, hopefully, I know the Montana governor or whatever his deal was, he's backed off because they've gotten a promise from either the league or the commanders that they're going to sell merchandise with the Native American logo on there. Obviously, the name will not be on there because the name is what was deemed the slur, I guess. The logo never was. So they're going to sell legacy or alumni shirts with that logo on there, kind of like as a test market to see, hey, can we get this pushed across and maybe wear this helmet again one time? But yeah, that guy's kind of backed off. So I want to see it happen. I think, like I said, we don't talk politics, but we know Robert Kennedy Jr. is going to somehow be a part of Trump's staff when he takes over in January. I think it'd be kind of cool for the family to make that happen.
Yeah, I think in the end of the day, if they get a stadium there at all, it's going to be blankety blank stadium at RFK.
Yeah.
But what if people like me going to do? We're going to write RFK. So are fans. We're not even going to talk about whoever that sponsor is, which I feel bad for them.
And you got to think about it. For me, I'm 42 years old, but I've never called it FedEx. I've never called it Northwest Field. I always called it the Big Jack.
Yeah, I mean that's what that dates back. I was the guy that actually reported that first. That the workers building the place called it the Big Jack among themselves. They were really proud to be building that stadium. And Cook died before they quite finished it, but they were all in it for Jack. So I wrote a story about it, and it became known as the Big Jack for a couple of years, and then Snyder came in and sold the naming rights and all that. But that was an interesting thing.
Gee, it's almost like I've known you for a long time, and maybe I read that story.
You probably did. Well, I wrote that you were probably about 10 years old. So maybe, how old were you in 97?
Oh, I was 15.
Oh, there you go. You had learned to read by then.
Yeah, well, barely. I do have a Charles County education. Come on now.
All right. So since we have Christmas coming next week, I just thought I'd mention it. Travis Kelce has spent $175,000 on his Christmas presents for Taylor Swift, including 20 grand for flowers. So my question is, do you think I need more than a Wawa gift card? Do I have to go buy something else too?
For the wife?
Yeah.
Didn't you buy her just like a $10 million mansion? I mean, I think she's good.
We already live in that, but
right.
But I can't compete with 175 grand.
Let me ask you this. Taylor Swift is way more rich than Travis Kelce. If I was her, I would look at him and say, are you stupid? Why are you wasting this money on me?
Oh, because it's romantic. I don't know. He's got to give her an engagement ring the size of a Super Bowl ring.
He already has.
I mean, that's just good for him.
So I get all the Swift updates because my wife decided at 30 some years old, I'm not going to give her age because she thinks she's 27, that she wants to become a Swiftie all of a sudden. So over the past year or so, this has been, trust me, I get my Travis and Taylor Swift updates. There's rumor out there that they're already engaged, and they also just purchased a home together in Kansas City. So why are you spending $20,000 on flowers? Look, I'm not a romantic. I'm romantic, but to me, flowers are dumb. You're gonna spend all that money for them to die. Come on, man.
That's a man for you. My wife would argue with you.
I know. Look, I can already see the comment, Antoinette. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I do buy cards and all kinds of nice stuff for my wife, and I did do the flower bit. Trust me. But then, 1-800-Flowers got a little too expensive. So, when you're spending $50 for a bouquet of 12 roses, I could have spent that $50 by taking her out to dinner.
Yeah, I can give you the old man edge on this. Go to the grocery stores or Costco or one of those, and the flowers are cheap as all compared to.
You think I don't do that? As soon as I walk into Safeway's got a pretty nice floral department.
Yeah, and it's cheap.
It is. It's not bad. And they even make like little seasonal bouquets. So if it's Valentine's Day, you get the red and the pink and the white. You can get the multicolor for Easter. Trust me, Rick, I got this.
All right. I thought you were on the side of the road paying $5 for some guy in the.
I bought flowers from the guy on the side of 210.
Problem is they're dead in 3 days, but whatever.
Hey, by then they did their job, right?
Oh yeah. So that's our Christmas plans. I guess I'll have to get something besides the Wawa gift card for her. Oh well. Maybe we'll get up.
Make it. I don't know, man. I'd love a Wawa gift card. Go give me some hoagies.
Yeah, well, they're building the Royal Farms by my house, opening in a few weeks.
Well, there you go. Get some Rofo gift cards and go get some chicken.
Yeah. My grandson's already saying, "Hey, are they open yet?" Because it kind of looks like it, but it's not. He said, "We'll get fried chicken. We'll be the first people in line that day. Maybe we can get fried chicken for a year or something."
And there will be a video coming soon.
Like there isn't any fried chicken places around Southern Maryland. My God.
Rick and Oliver try the new Royal Farms.
There you go. It's big weekend down here.
I know. All the Amish are going to put their Sunday best on.
Yeah. Well, the carts go right by it. Yeah, they drive right by it.
The Food Lion's got a buggy parking.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's great for those of you who don't know. So I live near the Amish now in Southern Maryland. And so the grocery store, if you're going to park near it, it's okay. There's the disabled people. So obviously they're first. Then it's like all the people picking up their stuff, the veterans, the expectant moms, the Amish. I'm in the back somewhere, before I get to park.
Right.
I mean, I'm okay with it all the way up to the Amish. And I guess you need to put the horses on the side. You can't put them in the parking lot between cars. That might get crazy. So you see people who actually try and cheat and park in there, and they often regret it, because horses, there's stuff everywhere on the ground. So, and the thing down this time of year, you got to watch Thursdays or wedding days.
Yep.
With the Amish.
Yep.
So we have a few local viewers on here. All right. Well, we're out of here. We talked about enough. We'll be back next week early, at least. We have to figure out Christmas schedule. Yes. Where am I going to miss one of them? I don't know. All right. So I'm Rick Snyder.
I'm Matt.
See you soon.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Seasons of Discontent with your hosts, Rick Snyder and Matt Combs.